Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're talking about Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. This is designed by Stefan Feld, and it is published by Awaken Realms with Aaliyah.
You guys, we have been huge fans of Castles of Burgundy in the past, and we actually have previously reviewed the original version that we had. So, normally at this point in the review, I would kind of do an overview of how to play the game. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put a link to our description below, in the description below of our previous reviews. That way you can kind of get that overview and get our original sense of first of all, how small my beard was at the time, and then also our original thoughts of the original Castles of Burgundy. Spoiler alert, huge fans. So we were very, very excited to get to be able to kickstart or game found, I guess is the right way to say. Is that a verb yet? I know kickstart became a verb. Is game found a verb yet?
I don't think so, because people will be like, it's kickstarting on game found.
Right. It's crowdfunded. So we should make it game found. We game founded this.
Yep, we're making that a verb.
We're making that a thing.
Yes.
Very excited to get our hands on this to see what all the changes were, or what the changes weren't too, whether they kept from everything we loved. All right, so the original version that we had was very, very drab, very, very dry, very beigey, right?
Beige.
Like super beigey.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you want to see something that Ryan and I think is hilarious, I don't know if you'll think it's hilarious, but Ryan and I had a blast and we thought it was so funny. Years ago, we did this skit, and it was blind date with a board game, and so Ryan was this guy going on, doing like a game show thing, and Jordan from Jordan Plays Blue played Castles of Burgundy, like the drabness of it, and he did such an excellent job. It was so funny. You should definitely go and find that on our channel.
I'll put that in the description below too if I remember.
It's just like so funny, but because the gameplay is so good, but you look at the pieces and you're like, ooh.
So there was an anniversary edition that came out that attempted to correct that beigeness, right? And so they just took everything and kind of just brightened it up a whole bunch, so that way people couldn't use that complaint anymore. It was beigey and drab. I think they kind of almost overdid it. Like everything was almost kind of garish in that way. Like they didn't really change the colors; they just made them brighter.
Yeah.
So it was just more intense beige. I don't know. So I thought that it almost didn't do it for me. The corrections that needed to happen weren't there for some reason. So when we heard that Awaken Realms, who is absolutely known for extreme production quality, was getting their hands on the ability to remake this, we were pretty dang excited.
We knew that it was going to be the one game to rule them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Oh, okay. Settle down, Gollum. Yeah, so absolutely there's an art overhaul. Everything about this is redone, retouched up. All the tile, all the art, all the different buildings, all the colors are now separate. There's not like 3 different shades of green and 3 different shades of brown or whatever it was again.
Yeah.
Every color is now different. So there is it's much more clear, first of all. Second of all, there's lots of different versions that you might see floating around of the special edition. You could just have gotten the cardboard tiles, right? And they were really nice cardboard tiles. And the art was, again, great. Or you could upgrade to the acrylic tiles.
That's what we did.
So we've got these nice acrylic tiles that have that clacky sound. They just all fit into place. It's so, so nice. And then there's, even on top of that, there is the 3D tiles that you can get. The 3D tiles are these extreme, awesome versions of all of the tiles. So there's the castles, are these big, massive castles. There's the animals have these 3-dimensional animals printed on them. The problem is because they are all, 3-dimensional and textured, and you're feeling the bag to pull the tiles out to populate the board, you'd know what they were. So what you have to do is you have to retain either the cardboard tiles or the acrylic tiles. Use those to randomize, pull out which it is, figure out what the tile is, and then go to your stacks of 3D tiles, go pull it out of the tray, and substitute in for the one you just pulled out of the bag.
Totally not worth it. It's going to take you out of the gameplay. Every time you draft a tile, or every time you put it in the middle, and then you have to put that, and then if nobody drafts it, and you've used that in the middle, then you have to, put it back. It's just not worth it to me. Not worth it. I don't care how cool it would look. I want to play the game, not just look at the game.
Yeah, I agree. And also, just the more components that get added. This box is already just massive.
Yes.
This is just the lid, by the way. I'm not even holding the full thing. this is huge, and not everything's going to fit in the game. There is a whole world of reboxing videos. We've talked about unboxing videos before, but there's reboxing videos about this, just trying to figure out how do people can get it all in the box. And guess what? Nobody can.
Nobody can. It's not
Everybody has to sacrifice something. You know, maybe they're not using the acrylic tiles; they're just using the cardboard. Maybe they have to keep the player mat or the main play mat outside of the board, or you have to get rid of all of the inserts and just do it that way. You don't get it all in there without making some kind of compromises, because there's just so much stuff and so many different versions of the stuff.
Yeah, speaking of, there is a brand new expansion that is new to this, and it's the Vineyards expansion, and it is a lot of fun. So what it is you're drafting grape tiles for your vineyard. So the queue, or the holding place that you draft your tiles to, the vineyards take up 2 of those 3 spots. So they're take up a lot of real estate, but you don't draft them to your board. You have a separate vineyard that you're drafting them to, and when you draft them there, you cover up certain things, and it's the same thing, you have to roll a certain die in order to draft them, and then on the board you have to be connected, but there's certain die placement just like in the regular the main board. But the things that you cover up, you actually get extra abilities, so that's super cool. It adds something really fun to the game. But because of that, if you're one of those people, when you play Castles of Burgundy, your goal is to try to cover up your entire board.
That's my strategy.
It probably won't happen with the Vineyard expansion, because those tiles are taking up those double spots. And yeah, when you do draft them into your vineyard, you're able to sometimes add and populate your original board, but not all the time. And so you're just not going to fill it up nearly as much as you would. But with that said, I don't see myself not playing with the Vineyard expansion whenever we get this out. It's just kind of obviously, if we're going to play this edition, we're going to play the Vineyard expansion.
And when we got this, when we game founded it, we made the decision to get rid of our old copy, and I was really upset about that, because we had over the years collected some of these really, really hard to find expansions.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of expansions for the original Cast of Burgundy, and some of them are just small little tiles, just a couple of tiles, or a couple of extra play mats, or a couple of, whatever it was. And so it had been really, really hard to get rid of that, knowing that, man, we spent literal years cracking some of these down. The good news is, in addition to the vineyards, this version has all of the original expansions. It has a ton of expansions. And they're all included in the game, including the one that we had never gotten our hands on, called the shields.
Yeah.
These shields were these really, really strong tiles, basically, that would go on top of your castles. And they would be take your whole turn to get them, and you had to roll doubles on top of that. So it was not necessarily just a gimme kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But you take your whole turn to get them, and then they would be either worth a ton of points, or maybe they'd worth some points, but then also a really strong ability that would last throughout the rest of the game. So man, those shields were really, really cool. It was fun to explore those. Something that we had never played before, even though they'd been previously released. Yeah. We just had never gotten our hands on them.
So Ryan and I do not back a lot of games on Kickstarter or GameFound. I look at it about once every 2 or 3 weeks. You know what's really funny is we also don't see a lot of movies. I'm just not a huge movie person anymore. I guess I used to be. Maybe when the kids are out of the house, I'll become a movie person again. But I go onto IMDb and I look up upcoming movies a couple of times a month, even though I'm not going to go see them.
I think it's something that millennials do. I'm going to go to Zillow and look at all these houses that I have no intention of actually buying.
Yeah, I have no intention of going to any of these movies. I'm oh, that looks cool. I'm going to forget about it, and I'm not going to go to it. I'm not going to get it on DVD when it comes out to the library or stream it. I don't know why I do this. And I do the same thing with games. I'll go to Kickstarter or GameFound and I'll look at stuff. With that said, we Kickstart or GameFound maybe 1 to 2 games a year. And I am extremely satisfied with this purchase. I am so happy we did this. I believe it is money very well spent. It's a game we loved. It's a game that we played often, and it's a game that we've talked about for years, that if there was ever this deluxe special edition, that we wanted that. And a lot of people have been asking for that, which is why it did so well. So I'm extremely satisfied with this purchase. I have zero buyer's remorse with the special edition, because it is that great to a game that we already love.
And let's be real, I know that not everyone just has expendable income for this, and neither do we. We saved up for this. This was the once a year purchase kind of a thing for us. That being said, if you want to have the gameplay, if you want to learn how to play this, this is the best time to go get the original version or maybe the anniversary edition of this game, because a lot of people, upon receiving this, like we did, sold their first version. So there is going to be a lot of opportunities to go pick up the original version, the one or two versions of this game, and that way you can experience the awesome gameplay. And maybe it's not going to have all the fun veneer that that we're talking about and gushing about, but who cares? We loved our version for years the way it was. So this is a great time for you to go check it out. So that way you can maybe decide later on, if you love it the way we do, we want to save up and go make the choice to go get this version.
Yeah.
That being said, this remains in my top. I'll re-rank it later on this year, and we'll talk about that later. But probably top 50, top 20 games of all time. Yeah. This is just an amazing game. This is an amazing version of this game with all the production, all the expansions. Tons of fun. I've broken this out with a lot of different groups already, and I can't get enough of it. This is great.
It is so much fun. Everybody, thank you so much for watching it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. You guys, thanks for watching our shenanigans. As always, we appreciate it. Over here, if you follow this link, you're going to find a playlist we've handcrafted just for you because you watched this video.
And if you check over here, this is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. So you can check that out if you want as well.
All right, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.